welcome everybody to the Lyfe Live. I know it's been a while since we've been on. We had a few issues with the last show, but we have those AI experts tonight. So you're going to learn something about AI. Hopefully you'll be on and learn something about AI. AI is your friend. You know, it's not your enemy. It's your friend, and they're going to talk to you about AI. But we also have a special guest in Eugene Parker, who has been on the Tyler Perry's Sistas show. So we have him to talk about his career, and he's going to bless us with some knowledge. And he's also a pastor too. So, but tonight we have a very special co-host who's doing double duty tonight. Normally, Buff is our positive media moment specialist, but tonight she gets to be the co-host of the Lyfe Live as well. So, welcome to the stage, Miss Buff Patterson.
Well, first of all, I want to be so gracious to say thank you for allowing me to co-host today here from sunny Southern California.
Oh yeah, rub it in.
It is hot as hot fish grease out here, though. Trust when I tell you.
Yeah, it was 50 this morning when I woke up. So
50.
50.
I think it might be 100 and at least 100 degrees right now, but it is beautiful. It is sunny, and now I know why California it really is a beautiful state.
Yeah, well, but I do like Maryland though. Maryland has all four seasons, and that's I was telling my wife that's why I really like it here because we get a little bit of everything, you know, during the year. It's not just hot all year long, or it's not just cold 9 months out of the year. We get a little bit all year long, something different. So
I wish we had seasons. I wish we had seasons. We have hot and a little less hot, and it rains 3 times every now and then.
yeah, see, I wouldn't like that. You know, in Florida, I grew up in Florida, so I'm used to that kind of weather.
Really
Yes,
hot.
yeah, hot. You know, like different degrees of hot all year long. But here, you stick out the different seasons. The trees change in the fall and change in the spring, and I like the different seasons. So yeah. So Tina couldn't be with us tonight. She had the nerve to be vacationing out there somewhere and somewhere north of here, I guess. I was like, how can you be on vacation?
Let's give her for vacations.
Yeah, I know, right? Vacations are great. So she's enjoying herself. So that's good for her. And as a little side note, you should always take a vacation.
Thank you.
Get
Thank you.
away and take some time to yourself. Enjoy yourself.
Weren't you on vacation like last week in
Yeah,
Colorado or
I never
something?
take a vacation. No, yeah, we were in Denver, Colorado last week, so it was great. Yeah, we had a great time. It was a different city. Neither one of us had ever been there before, so we were going there blindfolded, didn't know what to expect or nothing. So it's good. It was to go to this unknown city and learn about the city. So yeah, take vacations.
Take vacations.
Yeah. So I'll to go ahead and give us our positive media moment for
Well,
this week. I,
okay.
I know you're sitting on pins and needles. You can't
No,
wait to
I'm
talk
on
about it.
pins and needles. You know, this is so empowering as a Black American to really research Black American history. And today, I am bringing out the stops. This lady is named Mary Ellen Pleasanton. Mary Ellen Pleasant. She's the first Black American millionaire, and she preceded Madam C.J. Walker. She was a real estate tycoon, a philanthropist. Today I'm visiting my daughter because I left the car seat in the car, so you might hear some noises in the background. This is real life family, okay? But Mary Ellen Pleasant, she was the first Black American millionaire. She was a real estate tycoon, an abolitionist, and she grew up free. She was born free in Philadelphia. She actually started working for a family, and she married a guy that was into newspapers. And when he died after 4 years, he left her tens of thousands of dollars, and she started investing that money into helping Black people in Underground Railroad. And she was so smart that she would listen to people's businesses that came in. And that's how she was able to start investing and listening to business strategies. She took her money and she invested her money in the silver, went to gold, came to California to the gold rush, and because that's how she became a millionaire. And through that way, she decided she's going to start investing and helping women become very independent during the gold rush, which actually is during 1855. And in doing so, she said that the gold rush, it would help every black person who came become rich. And people don't realize that during the gold rush, so many black Americans became millionaires through that endeavor. She died in 1910. And I think that in researching so much about Black American history, how much we're into the entrepreneurial spirit. She was one of the first Republicans. She believed it. She said, I am a capitalist and I want to teach other Black people how to become capitalists and make the most of our money. So I just want to say that we got to congratulate and support women and people that are about their business. And this woman didn't talk about it, she was about it. And she also helped her fellow men become entrepreneurs and wealthy. Mary Ellen Pleasant.
All right. I don't know how you be digging up this information from somewhere.
Man, you know what? It's just exciting. It's exciting when we talk about us, right? It's exciting when we talk about, we only know Madam C.J. Walker. There
Mm,
are so many other Black people in America. Again, they weren't slaves. She was helping people come out of slavery.
right.
She didn't just take her money and run. She helped other Black Americans. She supported abolitionists. She supported in her life, and they put marks on her life because of it.
Hmm.
She wasn't hide in plain sight. So I think that if these things were taught in school, if Black people knew, that's why I asked you, have you heard of her? I didn't know about her before then. But can you imagine all the things we went through and we don't celebrate these people
Right.
and know them as our history, to know we came from a place of pride,
Right.
in a place of help. So I think we should give something to Mary Ellen Pleasant, one of the first Black millionaires in the United States, born in 1810 to 1910.
Right. Yeah. So maybe somebody should compile a book of all these
There's
fat
some movies
living
been
on.
made. There's some movies been made about her. They've been like little documentaries and stuff. But I just think there's so many other Black people in American history that go unnoticed and
Yeah.
go. And we it's more than Martin Luther King. I mean,
Yeah.
I only learned about Martin Luther King and Mary McLeod Bethune.
Right.
We only know only two Black people in America that we are actually ever celebrated. When our history is rich, it's a
Yeah.
very rich culture.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to bring Eugene Parker to the stage so we can find out what this man's acting career has been all about. Okay. We'll be back in what, 30 seconds?
2 seconds. 2 seconds.
A little bit longer than that.
Have you always
California.
dreamed of writing a book, but you're not sure where to start? Or maybe you've already written a book, but you don't know how to get it published? Don't worry, you're not alone. Self-publishing can be daunting, but it doesn't have to be. That's where Lyfe Publishing comes in. We're a full-service self-publishing company that can help you every step of the way, from formatting to distribution. We can even point you in the right direction for editing and marketing your book. With Lyfe Publishing, you can finally share your story with the world. We'll work with you to create a book that you're proud of, and we'll help you get it in front of readers. So what are you waiting for? Start your self-publishing journey today with Lyfe Publishing. Visit our website or give us a call to learn more.
All right. So, yeah, if we want to get that bestseller out there, check out lifepublishing.com and we will get you started. So, comment from Rhonda on your positive media moment. She said, "We have done some amazing things that we have."
And I believe we need to be our young kids need to understand our journey through American history. It should be a
Right.
journey, and and not just for us. Other cultures need to understand the important, positive things we've done in this country. We weren't just slaves. You can't have this lady wasn't even born a slave.
Right.
She's born free. We have to have these things out because your identity can't be rooted in just pain when there's
Mhm.
other people that have helped. And she was a Black American. If you actually, I wish we could have pulled up her picture. She was a Black woman.
Okay. Well, let's see if we can get Eugene Parker to the stage. So, Eugene, he is an actor, an assistant director, and a pastor, and a star on Tyler Perry's Sisters, as I mentioned earlier. His screen credits also include Bel-Air, Chicago PD, and Chicago Fire. He's a powerhouse in the industry and the community, and is known for his versatility and purpose-driven approach. So, please welcome Eugene Parker to the stage, whose camera is off. And so there he is. There he is.
Hey, Eugene.
Hey, we
Eugene is
can't
the
hear,
road.
now we can't hear you. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
No, put the volume, the mic on.
Yeah, we can't hear you. Still can't hear you. Nope. Yeah, we can't hear you. No. Now you're on mute. Now it's on mute. Back on.
Mute it.
Yeah, we still can't hear you though.
You think it's a volume?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. He was working earlier.
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
But
Do what you did before. It's a song. Do what you do it again. Is that a song by the Pointer
Yeah,
Sisters?
no, we can't hear you. Okay, but we will try later. We'll go to the AI segment, then we'll try later.
Yes.
Okay. I'm guessing you can hear. Can you hear me? Okay, so we'll go to the AI segment, and then we'll come back to you. Okay. All right. So we have two young ladies here that are going to talk to us about AI. The first is Althea Payne-Butler. She's a certified AI consultant with 30 years of experience and the founder of SOWEGO. I'm sure there's an easier way to say that. Smart Solutions. And she helps organizations work smarter with AI and empowers communities to generate income using these tools. And we also have her second time on the show, Aura Turner, an award-winning technologist and founder of Black Unicorn Education. Remember her from before? Aura helps leaders think critically about how to safely and thoughtfully implement AI in their businesses and careers. She's featured in Forbes and Essence. So we got some heavy hitters here tonight.
We got powerhouses tonight.
Yeah, we got some heavy hitters here tonight.
Heavy hitters.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. How you ladies doing?
Great.
Doing good. Excited to be here.
All right. Awesome. So we see that Aura has figured out how to send messages. But she's been on the show before. So yeah, she's been on the show before, so she had a little bit of head start. So, but before we get started, we'll start with Dr. Althea. And you just give us a little bit of your background, embellish on what I just said, and then we'll go to Aura and she'll give us a little bit of her background. So.
Okay, so I am the founder of SOWEGO AI.
That was an easier way to say that.
Named after a little town I grew up in Virginia. So it's SOWEGO.
Where did you grow up?
We specialize in helping businesses and individuals to work smarter, not harder, through AI. I go into the community and help children, single parents, those in the community needing to earn passive income, to use AI to just do that. Because when it comes to the Black community, sometimes, especially with the children or our young adults, they feel like they can't succeed or move forward. And with AI, I feel like it gives them a little extra push. I might not read as well, or they may not feel they read as well or write as well. And AI has come to make those things stronger for them. So we get out there and introduce AI to them so that they could get started in the directions in which they want to grow.
Okay. All right.
Yes, hello. I am the CEO of Black Unicorn Education. As you said, we work with high performance leaders who are uncertain or hesitant about using AI to help them quickly come up to speed with the technology so that they can gain that confidence. And my framework is basically, like you said, there's a lot of fear, but my company, what we do is we find unique ways to educate people, whether it's through a comedy show. Coming up, I have an AI date night. So we're finding unique and fun atmospheres and environments because you retain more when you have fun, and let them decide. So our tagline is kind of, we make tech make sense for you. So you might not use it like everyone else, but you have to use it in a way that works for you and your business and your beliefs and your values.
Okay.
That's
Girl,
exciting.
awesome. I don't know, the AI date night. I'm not.
I like that. Is the AI man going to act right? Is the AI man better than the AI regular dude?
So that's a whole other conversation. AI boyfriends and girlfriends.
AI boyfriends. I think I had one once. I had an AI husband for a little while.
Lord have mercy.
He wasn't real.
So who wants to give us some background on how AI came about? So either one of you can field that question. I mean, we're a long ways into AI, especially when the last time Aura was on the show. We seem to have jumped. So each one of you tell me a little bit about how AI got started, maybe.
Go ahead, Aura. You may.
Yeah. AI, some people just think it came on the scene in November 2022 when ChatGPT dropped, November 30th. However, it's been, actually, if you go back to ancient times, it's been around where they were trying to have this idea of just independent beings. But you can go back to the 1950s, and that's when they were starting to ask this question. Is it possible for machines to think like human beings? There's something called the imitation game, where they're trying to see, can people tell the difference between if a machine is talking to them or a human is talking to them? So it's been around for decades, but it hasn't been in the public domain to the degree that it was in 2022. So mainly you had academia, you had the military, government who had access to it. But this idea of thinking machines has been around for decades.
Okay.
Yes, and as they had those machines, each time an invention came about, they were teaching, or those machines were learning. And as we were learning to teach those machines to do certain things, all of that is linked back to AI. It's the learning and the creation of the different languages that we are utilizing today in the platform.
Okay. So I told you these authors were going to be all over this, right? First question is from an author. Does copyright play a role in AI?
Yeah, I'll take that question. This is something that the USPTO, I believe, has been struggling with. So their latest decision is, if it's totally written, like whatever you're doing, if it's totally and completely 100% written by AI, then you cannot copyright that. But if you made some revisions or you added your piece to it, then that's copyrightable. But it's still out for a debate, like how much that you add to it. Because there's, for instance, there's a guy, I forget his name, but he wrote, I'll say in air quotes, 100 books in 1 year.
Yes.
Using AI. So, and I actually went out because I'm like, how good can these books really be if you wrote 100 books? And I'll just say, to me, they were not good at all. They were just like not good. But yeah, to that point, if it's 100% AI, then no, you cannot. There's actually a website that is tracking the number of lawsuits against these companies that own AI, because people are finding their copywritten material that they didn't give permission inside of these models. So people are like, write a book in the style of Maya Angelou. And, they're able to do that type of thing, but they don't have permission, from Maya Angelou, her estate, or things like that.
Right. Anything you want to add to that?
She's 100% correct on that. And as AI is developing, they're also trying to find ways to, I guess, investigate or to say, something was written by AI, but that's still wishy-washy too, because I'm an author as well, written my book before I even knew about AI. And, if you stick it in there, I just wanted to play with it, if you have some intelligence about your book, it'll say it was written by AI when it absolutely was not. So I'm interested in watching to see how that's going to play out. Who's to say? I mean, sometimes, like she said, if you wrote 100 books in a year and you read it, you can tell that it was written by AI, especially if you're a writer yourself, which I am. So.
Yeah. So I know that there's supposed to be tools out there that check a book and see if and can tell if it was written by AI. I've seen it in Grammarly come up and say a certain percentage of this book was written by AI. And then when you go look, it's like, okay, that wasn't AI.
Exactly.
Why are you saying that's AI?
Exactly.
So I agree that the tools probably aren't exactly perfect as of yet, but I don't. Are they ever going to get perfect? Because AI keeps getting more perfect as we go along. So.
Yeah, I tend to get a little salty because if you write something, in perfect grammar or English, the first thing it says it's AI. But I'm like, excuse you, I wrote that. So again, how are they going to be able to gauge that? I don't know.
Well, I have a question. What about, you're talking about having AI in schools. What about the fact that children or teenagers can use AI in the classroom and pass tests, and these same kids, because you could tell AI whatever, and then these kids are being passed and they're not proficient because they're using AI to write the reports, using AI because AI really is an incredible tool. But these same kids are being passed on, and then when it really comes down to what they really know, they don't know because AI actually has taken over everything. What do you think about that?
I'm not sure. I know I'm raising 2 grandchildren. They're in high school this year, and they really at open house was like, absolutely do not use AI. And most of their testing is computer based. So it seems like the schools have not allow that software to be installed on those computers. So I'm not sure how much handwriting or typing they do on their own. Everything is, they all carry iPads and laptops now where that, like they don't even sign homework anymore. And I think that's due to AI because, you come home, first thing going to do is ask Alexa or whatever, Chat GPT to do the work. So it has to be done on their laptops in the school. So that'll be interesting to see. And then above grades, colleges might be a whole different story.
Yeah. And I'll add to that because I used to be in the classroom. So even before ChatGPT, students were cheating and copying and pasting from the internet. So what to what you were just saying about the policies. Some schools have them in place, some states have the policies in place, but most teachers in a lot of districts have not been trained on AI. So they're kind of learning on their own. I have, before I was focused on adults, I was working with like high school students. I taught 2 semesters an AI course at University of South Florida. And so the students, a majority of students, like if you look at the research, they feel it's cheating if you use it to do the work yourself. Of course, there's going to be those students that I don't care, I'm going to use it for everything. But a large majority of the students do feel like it's cheating. So they'll use it, to do research, to find out more about a topic, to structure things, to get an outline. If they're stuck, they can't think of ideas. Those are ways that students are using it. But what the research does show is over time, if students, not just students, anyone who is depending on these tools, their critical thinking diminishes, their problem solving diminishes, their creativity diminishes, because what's happening is called cognitive offloading. And so you are allowing the machine to do the work and think for you. And so now there's instances where students you ask them a simple thing about a paper they wrote and they blank out, like simple facts, because they didn't do it.
They wouldn't be able to answer it. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are things we do. And as far as the tools, because I see something teachers say they know and do not know. There have been teachers that have, accused students, and like Mr. Gerald was saying, they've been totally wrong. So those tools are not to be trusted at all. They have not made a tool yet that, accurately identifies whether a student used AI or not. Some of it you can, like if you know the voice of your student, and then they have this whole other paper, then you can be like, hey, look.
Yeah, and I think that's what Burl is saying here, because she can recognize the language, but some of the language now that the AI puts out there, you can't tell if it was written by a human or a computer.
Well, that's true, because I'll use AI. Like, I have a pretty good social presence on Instagram, and I could ask it, I want to write this post, and it'll ask me, do you want it to be funny? You want it to be, how do you want to sound?
Right.
I could create a sound on what I want.
Yeah.
Or get SEO words that represent me and my niche, right? But I also found out that AI doesn't always tell the truth, because I'm also a baby chef, and you can ask it a question like, that's not how you do it, in any capacity. So you have to actually know what you're talking about when you're asking something, because AI is not God. It doesn't know it. And I actually, when I'm doing research for something, I actually have to go through other resources instead of just AI, because it'll give you limited information. Matter of fact, it'll give you 3 different answers to the same question you asked, and totally different answers. So I think you can use it as a tool, but if you use it basically to educate you just as your guide, you'll be way off course, and it's not always true. So I do think that in the school systems, with children, with adults, even with me cooking, you have to be careful when you ask AI certain things, because it's not always gospel.
Right, and I think most of them have a little disclaimer at the bottom that says that you need to check,
Yes,
check your answer. So, but yeah, so AI in the classroom. I know that there's fear about AI taking people's jobs. We talked a little bit about that before the show started. Voiceover artists are probably what I would say the biggest people right now. So what are your thoughts on that?
I just did my first avatar of myself, and it was creepy. It was.
But was it creepy because you knew it, or you think other people would see it as creepy, or?
Only one person realized, and that was my son that
Mm-hmm.
talks to me every day, kind of knew it wasn't me, but the mannerisms of the avatar, how I blink my eyes. Now, I didn't tell it much. Like AI with ChatGPT or some other things, you could teach it to speak like you. This was 5 minutes in, I created this avatar. It blinked like me. It had my dimples, it had my double chin, everything. I mean, the mannerisms, and I barely said anything. I just like, take this picture, make it say this. So I get it. I get how that could scare people. But for me, I work full time as well. I'm almost to that retirement age. I'm working up to it. So I use it for I was testing it for some social media creations, and it was amazing. I literally did it in less than 5 minutes. I just uploaded a picture. I said, what the tone was, and it looked like me. Unless you knew me, like my son does, he was the only one that peeped it. Now, sometimes I don't see it as being perfect. I don't see it taking anybody's job right now, because if you got a hand in there, some hands disappear. Some had 8 fingers on one hand and 3 on the other. So they haven't perfected it to that point yet. So will it come? It may, but I just don't see it 100% taking over in that realm. But I've been wrong before. So.
Well, I have another question. What do you think about?
Oh.
What do you think about? Remember, it was a movie called Wag the Dog, and it was about completely creating a different narrative through video. Well, can AI? I've seen a lot of things on AI where you said a person has 8 fingers, and they'll create a whole accident, all kinds of stuff through AI.
Yes.
God, is that real? Can you see them creating? It is kind of scary. They can create a whole idea, and once you throw it out there, you can't take it back. That's the cool thing about media. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Exactly.
So how do you think that's going to play in our real world situations where you create a whole different environment, a whole different reality to people? Let's say a tsunami happens somewhere, or you do a blackout and people are actually
Hearing people.
because it's an AI generated thing, and you can create mass hysteria just throw it out there, put it in everybody's phone. And to me, that's when I think, and as an actress, I think I've seen them take images of people's faces and put on something else. And you're like, that's not real, but you don't know it. I just saw something crazy there. A whole accident happened. Oh my God. They're like, that's not real. I'm like, it's not? It looks so real.
It's every day as we look at that, it gets better and better.
Yeah. I was going to say to what you're saying. Well, I wanted to talk about the jobs, but I'll come back to that. But what you're talking about is called deep fakes. And so that's when you can use AI generated, whether it's video, voices, text, to make someone look or say like they did something that they really didn't. So it's already been happening for a while. There's something that's broadly distributed on the internet called AI slop. And that's basically the majority of what you are reading. These news stories are generated by AI. A lot of the profiles you see and that people are arguing with are AI bots.
Wow.
And so there have been companies scammed out of millions of dollars. One in particular, I believe, was out of Japan, where the scammers called, a worker and was like, hey, I need you to transfer this money to these 3 different accounts. She was kind of, hesitant. And they're like, hey, let's hop on a Zoom call. So when she got on the call, she saw her supervisor and all the other people were explaining to her, this is why you need to do it. So that person went ahead and transferred the money to those accounts. The thing was, nobody on that call was real.
What?
So it had been used,
Yeah, I heard that.
Looked like
I heard that before.
Yeah, and there's others where CEOs, their voices, for their bank accounts, because it only takes 3 seconds of your voice to duplicate and train an AI to sound like you. So that's why critical thinking has to be in place, and also policies like, there's something called the grandparent scam. where it looks like it's coming from your granddaughter, your grandchild, your family member's phone number. It looks like their phone number. It sounds like them. Like, oh my gosh, grandma, I'm in trouble. Send them the $9,400 or they're going to hurt me. And people are, they can't think whatever, oh my God, I have to save my grandchild. So they send the money. But it's not true. They just went on social media or found some other thing to duplicate the voice. So it's happening, but that's why we have to be educate our communities, and not just the children, because most people focus on K through 12. But that's why I'm focused on the adults and the older people as well. We all need to understand how this works.
Right. So this question is about I guess there's an AI school being built in Virginia, teaching kids. Do you know anything about that?
I hadn't heard that yet.
Yeah, they are actually building one here in Tampa in the fall. I believe it's called Alpha School. So basically what they're doing is they don't have any teachers at the school. The first 2 hours of the day, the students will be taught by AI, and they have reports that students are, completing an entire grade level within 80 days. So everyone's just with the machines, learning from the AI, and then they spend the afternoons learning things like, financial literacy or robotics. But they have no teachers at the schools. They have what are called guides, and those are just the people there to kind of help the students. But AI is the teacher. And they're on the machines. But they will be opening up. They have one in Virginia, and I forget the other cities, but they're opening one here in Tampa, I believe in October, November.
So what are your thoughts? Do you think that's a good thing, or will be a good thing, or?
I mean, I am always #team human, so I think they're, and I read a lot of research, so there's just some things AI can't do. Like there's research that shows when human teacher is talking and they make eye contact with a student, the student will mirror what the teacher is doing. AI can't do that. AI doesn't understand context. It doesn't have empathy. It doesn't have sympathy. So these are all things that are needed for
development,
human flourishing and healthy development for students. So yes, can you, if it's just pure information. And I also have an issue where everyone's like, the value system of you have to hurry up, efficiency,
true,
move fast, break things, you're going to be left behind. And my question is, left behind by who? Like, who is saying that? If I'm not going the same place as you, you can't leave me behind. So, but that rhetoric and language comes out of Silicon Valley, and they are pushing this whole thing. Like, you better hurry up, you better get left behind. And I'm sure there are people who will not use AI and they will still live full lives. Like they're not going to be just destitute and horrible. So I think those are discussions we need to have.
Yeah. Well, along the deep fake lines, Rhonda put this comment about her sister-in-law getting a phone call from an AI that sounded like her son. So that's scary.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I did mine in 3 minutes. So, those out there, I mean, look at all the Oprah commercials on Facebook and stuff, good and well, that's not her. But that's the first person, and probably a little Tyler Perry out there too. But they wear Oprah out, on these diet things and different things. But if I did it, like I said, in less than 5 minutes, like you said, 3 seconds of a voice, that's all you need.
Wow.
I just believe we're in a weird spot. I just believe we're in a weird spot because AI can't do things like fix your toilet. AI can't fix a meal. It could tell you how to make a meal, but it can't do that. If AI can diagnose a disease, but you and I both know without human interaction, human touch, human feel, human empathy, you can't because humans they're not predictable. You think I'm gonna say this and I say something totally different. Computers are predictable. They're trying to remember the movie Terminator. They're trying to make it appear that computers can think know before you know what's going to happen. The predictability of life. So I think that's why people are afraid, especially in jobs where, even in sales, you put this much information in, and then this information comes out. And you're right. I agree with you, Aura, that you can't. Who am I left behind by? If you don't know the direction I'm going, I think that should be put on a shirt. How can I be left behind when we aren't going in the same direction? And I do believe that we as people have to speak for truth instead of falling in line with Silicon Valley, because I think these tools are to enhance our lives, not to take over our lives.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah. So, can each one of you give your opinions on where you think AI is going from here? So we had started out with Chat GPT in 3 years ago, and you see where we are today. So, where do you think we're going to go in the next 3 to 5 years?
I think they're going to push it to the ultimate limit. It's a moneymaker at this point. And they're just going to keep going until it either burns out or takes over. As much as I love AI, there's a limitation. I think it should enhance what you're doing. If you're having a day where you're rushing and cannot think, and you know what you want to say, but it's just not coming out, and you type in the basic words and it gives you that sentence or that paragraph, great. But when it comes to a point, because even during the COVID is when I saw it, we have Alexa, we have Instacart, we go on the computer and do everything. It'll be a point to where we won't even have human interaction. But they're going to push it until the next person do the next greatest thing. Where we're on in Chat GPT now, 5.0, and it just keeps going. It's going to keep going.
Yeah.
I think it should enhance our life, not take over.
Can't have AI babies.
That
With my AI husband.
that
My husband is fine. Okay, he rich. He do a whole bunch of stuff. But when I wake up, it's just me.
Yeah.
So you can AI your body. It's so weird. You can take a picture and you can AI it to what you want it to look like, right?
Yeah.
When I look at my thighs, it's got cellulite on them. So AI is a lie. It's a lie from the pit of hell. So I just think it's so amazing how we live in these existences of us perfecting our life through AI, because that's what it is. It's nobody uses AI to be sloppy or to be inaccurate. You use it to be better, right? That's why you use it to write or to think or in a rush, because you don't have the time, or you want to appear to be a certain kind of way and you're not that person. But when you actually look at yourself as a person, I can see the disappointment and the depression that can come in, because now you have a whole misrepresentation of your true self. Like I say, like, that AI man don't exist. I'm not as smart as AI. I can't write as well as AI. And I can see the outside, the outliers of AI making a person go, man, that's not who I am. So when I show up for the job for this opening, they're like, you don't look like the person on AI. You don't talk like her. You don't look like her, and you don't speak as her. So I can imagine the disappointment, because AI is not real. It's imaginary person. So we all in this little square, and what if we're all AI? And then we show up, Aura isn't Aura, Gerald's not Gerald, Althea's not her, and Buff is not that. Can you imagine the disappointment in the realities of AI? And to me, that's the scary part about it. I can see the psychological part that might not be so good.
Yeah, I
So,
feel the psychological part, getting lost in it, those that can easily get lost, because you can actually talk to Alexa about anything. Tell me a joke, let's pray together. There's those that will get lost in it. But in true reality, if you're going to use it, I still say it should be an enhancement, not the all in all.
Right.
Because you're going to get caught eventually. If you're saying this is me and this is my resume, you're going to have to talk it. Eventually, face to face.
But can you imagine the okay? So now I'm found out. You put these crazy resumes that you've done all these great things, and or whatever who your person is, and then when you have to actually show up for the person, that is. I mean, we've all talked about it. You go on a date, and the guy shows up. He looks nothing like his picture. Like, where them abs come from? Oh my Lord. So anyway, I agree with you if we can use it that way, but it appears that more people want to get lost in the, what do you call that, reality world when you put the goggles on? You get
Virtual
lost.
reality.
Virtual.
It's a virtual AI
Mm.
because that person is better than me. That person is not me. I mean, but you have real world and you have fake world. As long
Yeah,
as
we're always going to have that, though.
always,
There's always
always,
somebody's
and it
going to take
always
it
has
that way.
been. It always has been. Before we had AI, we had painting.
Yep.
You could paint your nose a certain way. So we're just going towards that way. And I think if educators, Black Unicorn, if we can look at it as a tool and still keep the reality of what we are and base, I think we still can go in a positive direction.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Or can you give us your 3 to 5 years, and so we can wrap up?
Yeah. I was going to say, I was just reading an article, like I read a lot of research, but I've always believed there's a lot of hype around AI. So I'm looking at what people are saying versus what's actually happening on the ground. So a lot of the experts are saying they believe we've entered AI's meh phase, kind of like it's not this big magical thing we thought it was going to be. We realize what it can and it cannot do. So I think it's going to be more incremental. So everyone was just, losing their minds, like, oh, it can do this, it can do anything. It really can't. When you really, like a number of the things you said, if you look underneath the hood, it actually takes a lot of people to make AI work. And so it assumes like AI is doing all the stuff by itself, but there are a lot of what's called ghost workers. Those are the people who have to train the data, train the models, have the conversations, train the AI to sound more human-like. So I believe just in the next 3 to 5 years, it will be more like, the internet. Computers were, we thought it was going to be this whole thing. I've heard reports that by 2027, 99% of jobs will be automated, which is not going to happen. And then I just think it's not sustainable, because one thing people don't talk a lot about is the environmental impacts of AI. So it takes a lot of power, and those systems are using a lot of power, get very hot, so they have to be cooled. So it takes lots of water. There's reports that say it doesn't use that much, but we're seeing water shortages around the world. 9 out of 10 data centers are in poor Black neighborhoods. So I think that toll and those unintended consequences are not sustainable. So we're not just going to be on this trajectory where, it's just as smart as us or smarter than us.
Thank you.
Some people think so. I don't think so. And I just want to say one other thing. We have to draw boundaries. So even though I teach and educate about AI, I myself don't use AI at all when I write because I'm a good writer. I want to continue to hone my skills. So I think a language purist, I will not use AI. When you get something from me, whether it's an email, a note, whatever, I wrote it. So we have to teach people where to draw boundaries in their relationship with this technology.
Okay, that's good information, man. We appreciate you both showing up tonight and telling us about AI. So in short, is AI something for us to fear or not?
I don't see the fear. I see the enhancement. I see it as having, that admin assistant that you needed, or that if you're not a writer, that person, to your editor, to enhance, to use.
That's another job that was mentioned.
But you still got to feed it. You got to have the prompts. So you still need a person.
Yeah.
I still couldn't do it by myself.
Yeah. I would say, like, my framework, how I see AI is we look at all the ways, yes, that it can be helpful, but we need to acknowledge and be aware of the ways that it is harmful. And once you know those two sides of it, you decide how in your hands you're going to keep the world hopeful. So two things can be true at the same time. Yes, it can do all this awesome stuff, but yes, it is impacting people's lives in a negative way.
I like the boundaries thing you said. So that was good. Yeah, that's good information because that's the same thing we do in our relationships. We have to draw boundaries with people. So AI is the same thing. We draw boundaries with that. So, and only, and you need to determine what your boundaries are. So I like that. So again, thank you guys. We appreciate you
Thank
coming
you for
by.
having me.
Great,
Thank you.
great chatting with you. So all right. So look these two young ladies up. They have a wealth of information. I know if you have any questions after this show, or people watch the recorded version, they might reach out to you and ask some questions. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
All right. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
All right. So let us see if we can get Eugene. I see him. I hope we can hear him. So here we go. So we're gonna bring Eugene back on stage and see. Hey, sir, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
we can hear him.
Oh
Eugene,
my
are you
God.
driving? Eugene, are you
I'm
driving?
driving.
I am afraid of you, Eugene. You over here driving and talking at the same time, man. What
Look,
highway are you on? What highway are you
we,
on?
we, I was beelining it trying to get back to my home so I can get on my laptop so I can do this. So I'm in Vegas. I'm not on the expressway, but yeah, I'm headed home. We multitasking.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, yeah. Again, my name is Eugene Parker. I'm from Chicago. I'm an old Chicago boy, a Midwest boy, and I've been performing, since kindergarten. A lover of music, and I thought that's what I would. I thought that I'd be a musician, and I start playing some piano at a young age, and quickly by the time I got into high school, I got into my first play. I got a standing ovation as a freshman, and I've been hooked on stage ever since.
All right. Okay.
And and so I just love performing. I love being on stage,
Mhm.
and yeah, and so I got involved with television and film about 15 years ago, and man, God has just been blessing.
Okay.
Working as an extra to coming in and working as a stand-in to getting an agent, and just kind of following that recipe.
Hmm.
And so my career has been blessed from commercials to television and film and documentaries. I work both in front of the camera and behind the camera. I also work as a second AD. So I love to work with my background, my atmosphere,
Yeah.
if you will.
Well, what's his,
Uh,
what's the second AD?
so a second AD is a second assistant director.
Wow.
So on
Okay.
film and television, we kind of direct the atmosphere in the scene. So there could be a couple of actors in the scene at the restaurant table, but we're directing the waiters, the
Oh.
busboys, the cooks, the other patrons in the restaurant. So we kind of
Oh.
make that scene look natural and real
Okay. Okay.
is what
That's,
we do. So
that's interesting.
yeah, so it's
Yeah.
it's very interesting. So if I don't get cast for the show, I can work production. I can work behind the scenes on the show as well.
Okay.
I'm happy and stay busy.
Right. Okay. So how did you end
Most
up on Tyler
most
Perry's show?
well, I have an agent. My agent is based out of Chicago, LA, and also in Atlanta. And man, look, we as actors, we're always self-taping. We're always auditioning. And
Mhm.
I think I've auditioned for every one of Tyler's plays and films, and at such a time as this, I got the call. I got the call to come back and to work on Sisters, the ninth
Mhm.
season, and I was blessed. I've got a recurring role on the show, and
Okay.
we're well into the 9th season, and we've got some good stuff coming up. That of course I'm not able to share with you, but it is really an incredible role, an incredible opportunity to work with Mr. Uh, just an unbelievable opportunity.
Okay. That's it. So Buff jumped the gun and with her
Yeah.
question. Well, go ahead, Buff. Ask your question.
What
Why
what
you
was
put the
it?
question in there? You can just ask it.
Well, my question is this. So as a pastor and an actor, is there a role that you won't do?
Yes, there is a role that I won't do, and um, and true story. Before I was cast on this, I got an audition for another one of Mr. Perry's shows, and the role was um, uh, it was a role that I told my agent. I said, no, I don't want to read for that. I don't think that I want to come out the gate
Right.
um, like so, if you will. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
it was it's one of those decisions that, all money's not good money. Hello.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
And I do have a reputation. Um, I want to be able to create and do good work. But I think that there should be a line that an actor can draw.
Mm.
And so I drew that line. And the next audition I had, I was blessed to be able to work on
Right.
this show now.
Right.
And yeah.
Yeah. So we were just talking about AI, and I don't know if you heard that conversation, but one of the panelists, Drew, said that with AI you got to have boundaries, and that's just what
Mhm.
you're talking about right there. Is even in your acting career, you got to have boundaries as well. You can't just take every job.
That's right.
You got to
That's
have
right.
your boundaries. You draw those boundaries. That's
And I
good.
wasn't always like that.
Yeah.
For a while, if they offer me a role, man, I'd take that role because I was building a resume,
Mhm.
and I've had some roles that were challenging, um, that were very secular,
Mm.
and even profanity. I have a hard time with because I don't cuss very much. I mean, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so it's really a pull on my ability to act and to make that, some you get this, yeah, you're not black enough. I'm like,
Right.
man, I'm from the south side of Chicago. How black you want me? You know? And but yeah, you got to have boundaries. I did hear the AI and just wonderful information from your guests there.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's got to be some boundaries, and we're so happy that I'm a SAG guy, I'm a union guy. That we were on strike a year ago, and they were fighting to make sure that there was some rules in place for this AI, so that people weren't just taking my voice and my likeness and being able to use that without my permission.
Right.
So yes, I agree um, with the boundaries piece of 100%, 100%.
Well, I have another question for you. Is an actor, he's a well-known actor. I was trying to find his name, and he just did a post recently about about actors. Like he was talking about his skin color. He says, I was too dark to play certain roles, and he's a storied actor. I wish I could find him. And I was like, well, I grew up in the '70s when we had Sidney Poitier.
Hmm.
I don't think you can get blacker than Sidney
Yeah,
Poitier.
yeah.
And Sidney Poitier refused to play particular roles. He was just not going to do it. I'm just not going to step and fetch it for y'all. And he never did.
Hmm.
And I grew up in a time where all my television was black. For Flip Wilson, Lola Falana, Nat King Cole. All these people represent us as color. And I think sometimes we get caught up in a narrative when, if you can just look back at our history and realize that's not true. Some of our greatest heroes refused to step and fetch it, and they created
Mhm.
lanes for us. But I think when they said tell the new actors a particular thing, they aren't remembering we came from somewhere, and we came from a richness of
Yes.
actors that didn't portray those. And I think it's up for the new directors and people just to stand up and tell the truth of who in the arts, the truth
Mhm.
of Black entertainment.
Um, I, that's phenomenal, and I as well, growing up in the 60s and 70s and into the 80s, and having my heroes on television and film, and not a lot, but um, being an actor, there are roles that we long to have, uh, and hadn't seen and had the opportunities to do some of those, and we see some of those doors opening now, and I'm blessed that I've kind of bought into what Tyler Perry is talking about, is this uh, streaming Black culture, streaming culture, that we're not dependent on anyone else. We're going to create content for our people, love it or leave it. And sure, do I want to be on stage receiving awards? And will I? Yes, I will. Hello, right? But I also want to be able to create, and now be able to tell some of the stories of some of my ancestors, and tell some of these stories of what it was like in Chicago in the 60s and 70s, to tell some of the stories of the successes of some of the
Yes,
politicians that I saw growing up, my dad being one, right? To tell these stories of that, we're not all, even though I'm from the south side of Chicago, um, there's success stories. There's attorneys, and
yes.
you know what I mean,
Doctors and lawyers and
doctors, and it's like, don't put me in a box. And that's one thing that I'm blessed that I always wanted to break the stereotype. You know, I'm a downhill skier. I swim. I'm a diver. If you say we can't do it, that's what I do. I'm a boater. This is what we do. And that's what was instilled in us, is
yeah.
that we can do whatever we put our minds to. Um,
I just want to agree with you on that because I think the narrative, and you're talking about Black culture. So I think the narrative of saying Black fatigue, that is not our culture. Um, Sidney Poitier, can you imagine all the Black men that saw Sidney Poitier on the screen, and that's only images you got. Black man suited and booted, spoke eloquently. He didn't speak with eyes bees goings over here. He spoke with this kingdom voice. And when I grew up, I had a lot of Black television between Bill Cosby, him, and everything I saw. I'm talking on national network was positive. Even Fred Sanford, he
mhm.
everything when they put it out there, Black people had a sense of eloquence. They dressed and I mean, think about it. The only images that Black people had were, oh my God, we wear suits and ties and
Right,
why do they call me Mr. Tibbs? So when you have a situation like that, but now the image is the total opposite. We smoke, we sag,
mm,
we have baby mamas. That was never a term used in the 80s or 70s or baby mama. That was a derogatory word. So when you have the media portraying us, what is Black culture? You just said I ski, I swim. Our I mean, LA had we had Black mayor forever. I had a Black pediatrician.
come
So
on.
my vision of what Blackness was totally different than the culture they're putting on television now. It's almost like you're putting a face that I don't know those people. I don't know the culture because that's not Black culture. It's almost like they hijacked Black culture and created this whole other world that Black people are like, that's not us. Wait a minute, slow down.
Right, right,
We came from
right.
somewhere else. So you as an actor and a pastor, I'm gonna say actor and a pastor, um, how do you tell your
Pastor,
story?
pastor, and an actor.
pastor and an actor, right? Pastor and an actor. How do you want to tell the story, our story, and make it not be hijacked by, I believe, what's happening now?
Well, I'm blessed to be in a really unique situation, being a pastor and then an actor, because coming up and paying dues, people don't talk about church and the Lord and Christ and praying and things like that on set. It's about, okay, who's not ready? Okay, and let's roll cameras. And, you know, even though I see somebody's hurting over there at lunch and I want to go over and talk to them and check on them and see what's going on. The guy that's over there, that's our dolly grip who's pushing the camera is in tears. Something's happening,
Right.
and no one who's catering to this industry, you
True.
know,
Hmm.
and
True.
and that's where we were asked to plant a church when I moved out here to Vegas in 2018. I youth pastored for many years, almost 20 years in Chicago, and that's what we did was we bring music. How do we reach the how do we reach these underserved youth? How do we reach the poor kids in Chicago, but where they're at with music, with hip hop,
Yeah.
you know? So I'm gonna set this speaker out in front of the church, and we gonna put some hip hop out there. But we listen to some Christian rap. Hello, we're gonna meet you where you are, and now we can show you how do you get in the conduit, how do you make money, right? How do we not just, okay, you got some skills, you rap, but what about producing? What about engineering? What about the rest of the credits that we see that go up at the end of the film? All these jobs. Let's start talking about these jobs. And so that's been a passion of mine, and we're looking and we're praying. Please touch and agree with me that we launched the Elite Entertainment Arts Academy
Hmm.
here in Las Vegas so that we can teach, and we can teach our kids and even adults that long to be in television and film. Okay, well, let's get you started. Do you want to act? Do you want to run the camera? What do you want to do? Do you want to write? And so I'm blessed to have a platform to now say, this is the, uh, this is the footwork that I've done. And this is a conduit. This is an outline that no one is really teaching our community, our black community, our black youth, or our black adults,
Hmm.
On how to really get into being in entertainment. Are you an actor, or are you a computer data
Right.
entry specialist?
Right.
Hmm. What was the name of that academy?
It's the Elite Entertainment Arts
Okay.
Training Academy. Elite.
It's not just that; it's how to build a set, building sets, and cabinetry. It's so many different things because I think sometimes people want to be so much in front of the camera,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't realize there's so many other opportunities that are behind the camera that can
Yeah.
enhance, and you could take it to other places, not just in entertainment. There's so many different opportunities.
Yeah.
When I grew up, people didn't talk about that. They talked about being doctors, lawyers, police officers, and stuff like that, plumbers. You had contractors. But
Mm-hmm.
when people see the glamour, the not so glamorous world of entertainment, or even being in church, I want to be a pastor because he pastor, but they don't realize there's so many more roles in life other than the person that's speaking. Um, it's the usher, it's the person who cleans the parking lot, it's other things that make things go, and they are
Yeah.
just as important as other things. So I think your word of getting out and explaining that to our children, youth, and adults that there's room for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
There's
because there's
room,
a
and
lot
not
of
just
there's a lot of credits that be going up at the end of these movies and shows. I be like, what is that? What's that person do? Like, you know?
in my classes. That's the first thing we roll is the credits.
Mm.
Wow.
There's
And
a
we
lot of
start
jobs
talking
on
about
there.
this. The first thing we do. I want to be an actor. Okay, we want to learn the business of acting,
Right, right,
because this is not an after-school program. We're not just going to put on a production in 10 weeks.
Okay.
right.
We're going to prepare people to work in the industry. right? And I'm gonna prepare my people because like I'm on my. That's what I've been running today. I just got off a commercial. I'm working another commercial out in the Valley of Fire for the next few days, right? And I go and work on a set, and I've got 150 crew members, and I'm the only African American on the set. That's unacceptable.
Right.
It's unacceptable.
It is.
Well,
And
that's
I'm in the entertainment capital of the world, right?
You're in Hollywood right now?
I'm in Las Vegas. Buffet.
Oh, you're saying you're in like as far as in okay.
Well, yes, Hollywood is the Hollywood, but they claim that Vegas is the entertainment capital of the world with the shows and the residencies, and I beg to differ. It's not an actor's town,
It's not.
but there's lots of talent and there's a lot of entertainment that comes through Vegas,
True.
and they get what they're going to get, and then they're gone.
True.
But there's nothing being birthed from within that I see.
No.
And I'm we're going to change that. We're bringing stage production back here to Las Vegas so that actors have a platform that they can work on their craft.
right.
We have a lot of actors that, it's like, well, what are you acting in?
True.
There's not a lot of church plays, there's not community plays, and
Yeah.
so usually when we're looking for actors in town, we've got to go to we got to cast from LA,
Yeah.
and this being headquarters for me now here in Vegas, I'm like, I need to do what I can do to help my people and those that want to work in the entertainment industry, and just be able to use my giftedness to give that back. And what the blessing is, our ministry is called the Lighthouse Las Vegas, right? We are the salt and the light of the world. And so now we're creating biblical content, and I'm able to bring in, union professionals to come and work on our sets. And the Holy Spirit does what the Holy Spirit does best, is drops on people's heads as we're doing our ministry, and as we're doing our shows. We're taking scripture and we're just filming them modern day. What does that look like in 2025?
Awesome.
And so we're inviting those that I work with on a regular basis to come be a part of it. And we're finding there's a revival in the industry. Now people are talking about Jesus on the set. Now people are over there in the corner praying. Amen. Don't get me
Amen.
preaching on here, Gerald.
Oh, wait a minute.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Yeah,
We got a prayer circle going on. I got 10 extras over there praying, right? We're praying in the trailers with actors, and that's what's happening, at least here in Vegas with the Lighthouse Las Vegas. And I believe it's happening. And of course, I'm on set in Tyler Perry Studios in Atlanta. I'm telling people about the Lighthouse. I'm like, every Sunday, hop on our Zoom call. If you can't make it out to the small group discussion, hop on the Zoom and come be a part of our services. So we're out there every Sunday at 1:30 Pacific. We're having a small group discussion, just doing some life together. And so, yes, I'm telling everybody I know out on Tyler Perry's set that I have a moment or an opportunity. I let them know what I really do.
Right. Spreading the
I
word.
like that. I like that. What I really do.
Yeah.
I like that.
I came here to work. You say it's not in what we do, it's who we be, right?
Oh,
Right.
Wait a minute.
And
That's
I'll be a
awesome
pastor. I'll be a pastor first.
That's
Amen.
awesome work. We appreciate that.
Hey, you guys are phenomenal. You guys are phenomenal. This is such a blessing. Such a blessing.
So you and I will be talking again because you're going to be on the cover of the next Lyfe magazine issue.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Come on, somebody.
Yeah. So I didn't know if Desiree talked to you or not about that, but yes.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. Well,
So
we're excited. This is really just been a blessing, Gerald and Buffy. I'd love to talk with you guys some more and see what else you guys got to do. I'll make sure I chime in and follow what's happening.
All right, I appreciate it. So now I understand why your audio and video was trying to be cut out because the enemy was trying to stop you from giving that testimony about what you was doing. But of course, he did not win.
He did not. You better preach.
No weapon formed against you.
Hallelujah. Yes, yes, yes. And you know, I was praying the whole time they were talking about AI. I was like, Father God, make this. I'm going to try and make it home as quick as I can. And I'm sitting right in front of the house. I didn't even get in the house to go get on my computer.
Right.
I'm just
Well,
sitting in front
we
of the
got
house.
it in now, so it's in.
Yeah, it's in now.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. This has really been wonderful.
Yeah, we appreciate
I hope,
it.
yeah, I hope that that the viewers and folks are blessed from this and encouraged
Oh, you
to
had
do
some
some of the
comments. I
same.
don't know if you were able to see them, but let's see. Let's go back here. I think Shantae said, "Love the work you're doing, sir."
Fantastic.
Rhonda said, "That's awesome." And then Rhonda also said, "You can be bigger than Sight and Sound in Pennsylvania."
Hey, come on, somebody. I receive.
Yeah,
I receive. Yes.
yeah. So we appreciate you coming by and talking to us tonight. So we will be
Thank you
talking
again.
again. Like I said, we will be talking again. So,
We'll be
all right.
talking soon. All right.
All right.
You guys
Thank
have a
you.
wonderful night. God
You
bless
too.
you and
God
yours.
bless you. All
See you
right.
next time. Bye,
All
Miss
right.
Buffy.
Thank you for coming by.
You better believe it. You better
All right.
believe it.
Bye
Have a
bye.
great evening.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye bye. All right. So that was another show for us.
Well, that was a successful show, and thank you so much for allowing me to step in Tina's place and co-host with you. It was a tremendous show. I learned so much about AI and what's coming up and the uses of AI,
Yeah,
and that was pretty informative, don't you think?
it was. It was very informative. So it was and needed. So because
Yes,
you hear so
definitely.
much going on about AI nowadays, and like I said, some people fearing it, and some people not fearing it. Some people embracing it. There's all these legalities, copyright, and all this kind of stuff. So I mean, it's here with us. Embrace it, learn about it, see what you can. I like the boundaries thing. I really like that. Then
I did too.
yeah, set boundaries. Yeah. So, but thank you for being on tonight. Thank you for jumping in and being the co-host tonight. You did a great job. Appreciate it.
Anytime, anytime. Again, this was a tremendous thing, and I love Life's Positive Media Moment, bringing a light people of color that have in the past and in the future doing tremendous things.
That's right. And we will be back on September 22nd,
Okay.
6:30 p.m. Eastern time.
All right, Tina. Tina won't be on vacation. She's gonna be right here in studio.
Yeah, Tina better not be on vacation. You gonna end up taking her job.
Oh no, Tina. You can't mess with the hostess with the mostest.
All right. Well, have a good evening, Bob. Yeah,
You
have a
also,
good.
hey,
Thanks everyone for
give that
viewing.
new wife a hug for me. Give that new wife a hug for me.
Oh, I will. All right. Thanks for all our viewers. Appreciate you watching. Good night.
Good night.